The year is 1654. The cannons of the First Anglo-Dutch War have fallen silent. Across the grey waters of the North Sea, a quiet hangs in the air, heavy and profound. The waves lap against the splintered hulls of once mighty warships. Broken masts lie like fallen trees, their torn sails a ghostly shroud. The decks, once alive with the shouts of men and the roar of artillery, are now still. The war is over, but as the smoke clears, a question remains, lingering like the scent of gunpowder: who truly won? In London, the mood is one of strange triumph. English warships, scarred and battered, line the harbors, their flags flying in the stiff breeze. The dockyards are a symphony of hammers and saws as workers race to repair the damage. In quiet rooms, naval officers pore over maps, their faces grim but resolute. On paper, the victory was clear. England had forced the Dutch Republic to the peace table. The controversial Navigation Acts, which had sparked the conflict by targeting Dutch trade, remained firmly in place. England had proven it could not only challenge but defeat the seemingly invincible Dutch at sea. They had won the battles, they had won the war. But victory carried a heavy price. Step into the shipyards, and you see the true cost. They are overcrowded not just with ships, but with the human toll of war. Wounded sailors, their careers and lives shattered, limp through the streets. The same docks that once bustled with global commerce now sit eerily quiet, the merchant vessels long since conscripted for the war effort. The crews are exhausted, their spirits worn thin by 2 years of brutal conflict. England had built a naval machine powerful enough to dominate the seas, but the nation was straining to sustain it. The treasury was drained, the economy faltering, and the manpower depleted. This victory felt less like a celebration and more like a gasp for air. Britain had asserted its supremacy, but the cost was staggering, a debt that would be paid for years to come. Now, let's cross the North Sea to the Dutch Republic. Here, defeat had a different face. The Dutch had lost the naval war, their fleets shattered by the English navy. Yet there was no air of capitulation. Instead, there was a quiet, determined resilience. As soon as the peace treaty was signed, Dutch merchant convoys were already returning to the waves, their holds filled with goods destined for markets across the globe. The shipyards, renowned for their efficiency, were rebuilding the merchant fleet faster and cheaper than anyone else in the world. In the Netherlands, it was the merchants, not the admirals, who drove the nation's recovery. Their vast, intricate trade network, the true source of Dutch power, had been bruised but not broken. Militarily, they had been defeated. Commercially, they had endured. So why couldn't England's decisive naval victories break the Dutch? The answer lies in the very nature of Dutch power. It wasn't centralized in a single grand fleet that could be sunk, or a capital that could be conquered. Dutch strength was a system, a network. It was woven into the fabric of countless ports, bustling marketplaces, and sophisticated financial institutions from Amsterdam to the East Indies. It was decentralized, adaptive, and incredibly robust. English warships could blast Dutch fleets out of the water, but they couldn't sink an entire economic ecosystem. They could win a battle over a patch of sea, but they couldn't stop the relentless flow of Dutch commerce across the continent. England had built a better weapon, but the Dutch had built a better system. You cannot defeat a network by sinking ships. And so, in a dimly lit room, the Treaty of Westminster was signed. Quills scratched across parchment, red wax was stamped, and maps were folded away. The peace treaty, however, settled nothing permanently. It was a document born of mutual exhaustion, not mutual understanding. The core conflicts, the fierce competition for trade, the clash of economic philosophies, the struggle for maritime dominance remained unresolved. Both sides used the peace not to reconcile, but to rebuild, rearm, and regroup. This peace was only a pause, an intermission in a rivalry that would span decades. The ink was barely dry before the seeds of the next war were already being sown. We return to the sea. An English warship stands guard, a powerful silhouette against the horizon, a symbol of a hard-won military victory. But in the distance, on trade routes the English Navy cannot possibly patrol all at once. Fleets of Dutch merchant ships sail freely, their sails full, their holds laden with the wealth of the world. England had won the war, securing its status as a premier naval power. But the Dutch, by preserving their commercial empire, survived to fight another day and another and another. In the grand sweep of history, one victory on the battlefield can be fleeting. The resilience to endure, to adapt, and to prosper in the long run is often the truer measure of success. England won the war, the Dutch survived the future, and the decades to come would reveal which of those victories mattered more. Thank you for watching. If you found this journey into the past insightful, please like this video and subscribe for more stories that challenge the way we see history.